How are we all doing, YouTube? And welcome to Holker Street, the home of Barrow Football Club. I'm Craig and this is a brand new YouTube series called Barrowcelona on my new channel ArneyFM. In this series we will try to take the current real-life leaders of the National League, Barrow AFC, into the Football League and hopefully onto the Premiership and European glory. But before we do that, here is a short introduction to Barrow AFC. Barrow-in-Furness is a town in Cumbria, northwest England, at the tip of the Furness Peninsula, located close to the Lake District. Historically part of Lancashire, it is geographically closer to the whole of Lancashire and most of Merseyside. Barrow is only around 20 minutes from the Lake District and has been referred to as a gateway to the lakes and where the lakes meet the sea. Natives of Barrow, as well as the local dialect, are known as Barrovian. Barrow's location and the availability of steel allowed the town to develop into a significant producer of naval vessels, a shift that was accelerated during World War I and the local yard's specialisation in submarines. The original iron and steel making enterprises closed down after World War II, leaving Vickers Shipyard as Barrow's main industry and employer. From the 1960s onwards, it concentrated its efforts in submarine manufacture, and the UK's first nuclear-powered submarine, HMS Dreadnought, was constructed in 1960. HMS Resolution, the Swiftsure, Trafalgar and Vanguard-class submarines all followed. The last of these are armed with Trident II missiles as part of the British government's Trident nuclear programme. The end of the Cold War and subsequent decrease in military spending saw high unemployment in the town through lack of contracts. Despite this, the BAE Systems shipyard remains operational as the UK's largest by workforce. Barrow has played a vital role in global ship and submarine construction for around 150 years. The vast majority of all current and former Royal Navy submarines were constructed in Barrow, as well as numerous Royal Navy fleet flagships. Today, Barrow is a hub for energy generation and handling. Offshore wind farms form one of the highest concentrations of turbines in the world, providing energy for well over 500,000 homes. Having emerged as a mixture of working class cultures from across Britain and Ireland in the 19th century, subsequent low levels of migration and a continued tradition of industrial employment mean that Barrow's culture still reflects many of the traditions of the British working class. In September 2008, Barrow was named as the most working class location in the UK, based on a series of measures devised to judge the lifestyle of the people. Barrow has also been described as the capital of blue-collar Britain by the Daily Telegraph, reflecting its strong working class identity. Barrow AFC were founded in 1901 and joined the Football League in 1921. The club's colours are blue and white, leading to their nickname, the Bluebirds. Barrow's traditional rivals as a league club were Workington and Carlisle United. As a non-league club, Barrow have built up rivalries chiefly with Lancashire clubs Morecambe, Lancaster City, Fleetwood Town and also nearby Kendal Town. They have been at their ground Holker Street since 1909. Described as having a traditional old-fashioned feel, the ground has 3 sides of terracing. The all-seated Brian Arrowsmith stand is raised above the central portion of the pitch, with flat standing on either side. There's work to be done on Holker Street, which will need to increase its seating capacity from 1,000 to 2,000, as well as increasing the general capacity overall to 5,000 should the club be promoted, though it would have 3 years to do so. The club spent over 50 years in the Football League between 1921 and 1972, achieving promotion to Division 3 by finishing 3rd in the 4th Division in the 1966-67 season. The highest ever league place in the club's history came in the 1967-68 season, finishing 8th in Division 3. Life in the 3rd tier of English football was to be short-lived though, and relegation back to Division 4 came just 2 seasons later. Fortunes never improved, and they finished rock bottom of Division 4 in 1970-71. The following season, 1971-72, was to be Barrow's last as a Football League club. After a failed bid for re-election, Barrow were voted out of the Football League to be replaced by Hereford United of the Southern League. Relegation meant dropping into the Northern Premier League, where they remained for the remainder of the decade before becoming one of the founder members of the Alliance Premier League, now the National League, in 1979. Barrow were initially consistent performers in the Alliance Premier League, but this didn't last, and they were relegated in 1983 and became a yo-yo club between the top 2 divisions of non-league football, breaking it up with an FA Trophy win in 1990 under Bluebirds legend Ray Wilkie. Unfortunately, Wilkie was forced to step down during the 1991-92 season due to health problems. That season, Barrow would be relegated back to the Northern Premier League. Sadly, Wilkie died in December 1992, aged 56, and the road outside Barrow's Holker Street ground was later named Wilkie Road in his honour. The FA Trophy win would be the peak of Barrow's achievements for the next 20 years. In 1993, they would be relegated from the conference. Then came the arrival of Stephen Vaughan, a boxing promoter from Merseyside. As well as building a new all-seater stand, under his ownership the club won promotion back to the conference in 1998. However, he resigned as chairman after an investigation by HMRC into money laundering and his links to a Liverpool gangster. He reinstated himself when he was cleared of any involvement, but Barrow were already said to be in serious financial difficulties, and he resigned again as chairman and removed his financial backing in November 1998. It then transpired that the club's main asset, its Holker Street ground, had been sold for £410,000 to a development company that Vaughan had an interest in. In January 1999, the club were the subject of a compulsory winding up order, and a liquidator was appointed to run the club whilst trying to establish who the legal owner of the ground was. A new members' company was formed with the aim of providing financial support to the club and with the long-term intention of taking over the running of the club. In 2002, Holker Street was returned to the liquidators, who sold it back to the new directors of the club for £265,000. Barrow, meanwhile, returned to bouncing between the top 2 divisions of the non-league pyramid. They won the FA Trophy again in 2010, beating Stevenage 2-1 at Wembley, thanks to a goal by Jason Walker during extra time. Since returning to the National League in 2015, they've finished 7th, 11th twice and 20th, with that near relegation experience coming in 2017-18, surviving by just 1 point. This season, Barrow could be set for what would be, for the club's older supporters at least, an emotional, and they might well argue long overdue return to the Football League. The club came under new ownership in December 2018. Interim chairman Paul Hornby finished putting together the consortium that replaced previous owner Paul Casson as the Bluebirds figurehead. Joining him as part of the consortium are local businessmen and the Bluebirds Trust, who will have a 10% stake as well as a representative on the board. When Ian Evatt took over, the club was a mess. They only had 4 players after finishing just 1 point above the relegation zone the season before. There was a disconnect with the fans and crowds were low. Under Evatt, though, the Bluebirds have developed a philosophy of style over pragmatism. He studied Pep Guardiola and other managers who play a similar style. He changed the mentality of the club and has brought in an attacking, expansive, brave style of football. The attendances have increased and there is a real excitement around the town that Barrow will return to the Football League for the first time since 1972. Evatt was told that you can't play your way out of this league. This made him more determined. The team has managed an average possession per game of 59%. Prior to the suspension of football due to the coronavirus, Barrow were 4 points clear at the top of the National League with a game in hand, and this is with a bottom 6 budget. However, with uncertainty hanging over the club, who are in limbo while they wait to see how the season will be finished, Ian Evatt fears that if the season is voided, like in the divisions below them, then he feels that Barrow may never recover. He said, How can you, in the interest of fairness, void the season with only 7 games to play? We run our club properly. We don't overspend. We don't sign players on thousands of pounds in the National League like some do. Nobody knows how the rest of the football season is going to play out. Even those as high as in the Premiership, UEFA and FIFA seem to have no clue in these unprecedented times. Now let's see if we can get the team nicknamed as Barrowcelona by their fans back into the Football League. So yes, that's me looking like a shit Clark Kent. I don't even wear glasses actually in real life, but thought I would look a bit more sophisticated with glasses on, but I guess the jury's still out on that one. I have to say though that the avatars have been improving year on year. It's just that they haven't really got much to work with in my case. So the club culture, we do not sign players over the age of 30, which is fine for me. I'm quite happy to do that. Work within the budget, within the wage budget, which is good. National League playoffs minimum, yep, that's fine. FA Cup first round, an FA Trophy quarterfinals. When it comes to the long-term vision, they want us to work towards gaining promotion to League 2 for a couple of seasons and then actually win promotion for the 2 seasons after that. So we've got plenty of time to get into the Football League, but it would just be great considering, like I said before, with the position that Barrow are in now in real life, it would be really good to get them in, to get them in the first season. And with the finances, our overall balance looks okay for this level. Our wage budget, which I do believe, I haven't checked this in the game yet, but I do believe in real life that Barrow have one of the lowest wage budgets in the National League. And with us not having much wiggle room, because we're not that far off of spending our wage budget as it is, and we've got a small transfer budget which isn't really going to do too much for us. So it will be difficult, and with expectations for us to finish 6th in this division, there's going to be a lot of pressure on us. So hopefully, if we can get into those playoffs, that'll be great, and then maybe in the next year or two, actually go up and get into the Football League. So we will be looking at some more loan signings, depending on how many players we've got on loan already, of course. But yeah, it's looking good. So speaking of which, we will move on to the squad now. So yeah, like I said, as was mentioned in the intro, I want to stay true to the principles that Barrow, the culture around the club and how they play in real life. So playing football out from the back and playing nice, attractive, attacking football. And playing the similar formation, the 4-3-3, as I believe that they do. So we're going to try and do that where possible, and use the similar sort of tactics to see if we can play our way through out of the National League. Because, as mentioned in the intro, this was a very novel thing for Barrow to do in the National League, and can it be done? And they proved that before the season was suspended, that it can be done. You can play your way out of this league. So let's see if we can do it here. It's we've got plenty of options here. It's a fairly balanced squad by the looks of it. So we've got a good goalkeeper there in Joel Dixon. 3.5 star current ability, 3.5 star potential. Pretty good stats for this level. I'm quite happy with that. He can play as a sweeper keeper as well, which will be ideal for the style of football that we're looking to do here at Barrow. And then we've got Matthew Platt, who is on loan from Blackburn, I believe. Blackburn. 4-star current ability and another up to 5-star potential. This guy's got very good stats for a central defender. Not so great on the marking, but look at his mental stats and physical stats already. This is a guy, high determination, high bravery. Positioning's good, which is what we want to see for a central defender. So this guy can, hopefully he will be able to do the job for us here in the middle of defence. So we've got about 4. I think Sam Hurd's a centre back as well. Yes, he is. So he's got good stats as well. So we've got at least 2, potentially 3 good central defenders at the club. And so onto the fullbacks, we've got Bradley Barry. So yeah, he can play as a wing in the wing back or fullback role, but also in the traditional wing back role. Good stats, not bad dribbling. Again, good bravery, determination. Good mental stats, and of course for this sort of role, if we're going to make him an attacking fullback, good natural fitness, stamina, pace, and acceleration. All good things that you want from a wing back. So he will probably be our right-sided fullback. Then on the left, it looks like we've got this guy, Patrick Brow. Oh dear, I'm going to murder this guy's name. However it's pronounced, I do apologise. But yeah, he's not too bad. Technical stats aren't great, but he can still play as a wing-back or the normal full-back role, and physicals are good as well. And then on to the midfield. So we've got some good options here. John Rooney, who is of course Wayne Rooney's brother. He's scored some really good goals. He's a very good player at this level. And also in the game here, his stats are really good. He's good at free kicks, corners, and shooting from distance. Good passing and technique. Good mental stats, again, determination and work rate and teamwork. Not the quickest of players, but again, he's got good natural fitness and stamina. So this guy is, I think, as well as being key for Barrow in real life, he will be key for us this season. And then you've got Jason Taylor, who's one of the sort of veterans in the team. Most of you probably come across him in the lower league saves. I'm sure I've signed him before. Yeah, he's been at Rotherham, Cheltenham, Northampton, Eastleigh and Fylde. So yeah, he's had a lot of experience at this level, and as you would expect from a veteran player, brilliant mental stats. Again, not the quickest in midfield, but his physicals are good. Good long throw, so that's an option as well. And good tackling. So he will obviously be the more defensive midfield partnership with John Rooney. And then we've got this guy, Lewis Hardcastle, who could also play as an attacking midfielder. He's more of your box-to-box type midfielder. So not bad all-round stats there, and again, good mental stats and physical stats. He'll probably be, if we're playing a midfield central 2, he'll probably be in competition against with Rooney and Taylor. So yeah, and then we've got some wingers here as well. So we've got Josh Kay, who, as well as playing as a left wing back, he's also a left-sided attacking midfielder. He can play as an inverted winger or an inside forward. Crossing isn't great, but he's got good dribbling, good first touch, good technique, great flair, and good physical stats as well. So he is an option for us on the left side of midfield. On the right, we've got this guy, Oliver Greaves, who's on loan from Sheffield United. Not too impressive stats-wise. He can play as your traditional right-sided midfielder or as a winger in the more attacking role. Not bad technique though, and passing and dribbling. So yeah, he looks promising. Only 2.5-star current ability at the moment though. And then we've got this guy, Ollie Dyson. So he's another winger who can play in on the left or the right. So this guy's going to be very useful. He can also play in the central attacking midfielder role. Stats aren't brilliant, mental stats or technical stats, but he's an option. He's having this this versatility will be quite useful. And then we go on to Dior Angus, who is the first of the forwards we're looking at. Not great stats wise, decent finishing, good determination and flair, and good work rate. Brilliant physical stats. 3-star current ability, 4-star potential. He's primarily as a pressing forward in the attack role, which for this for the style that we want to do, he would be good for that. Pressing from the front, not giving the opposition any time on the ball, and hopefully forcing them into mistakes. Our next striker is Jack Hindle, who's more of a poacher. He's 2.5-star current ability, 3.5-star potential, but at the age of 25, he's not going to get much better than his current 2.5-star current ability. He's quite good finishing and long shots, good determination and bravery, and not bad physicals either. And then we have Scott Quigley, who is their leading goal scorer in real life, I believe. So this guy, he's going to be key as well as John Rooney. So he can do the pressing forward, poacher, target man, advance forward, and I mean for this level, that's really good. Great finishing, first touch, decent penalty taker, and again, mental stats that they're pretty impressive. The usual determination and teamwork and work rate, off the ball as well. And again, good physical stats, so 4-star current ability, 4-star potential. Again, this guy is going to be another key player. Hopefully he will be able to bang a load of goals in for us like he does in real life. So that's a quick overview of the squad so far. It's looking pretty good for this level. I can see a couple of options for our formation with the tactics that I've got in mind. Like I said, we might bring in. So how many we've got? We've got 3 players on loan. Might look to bring in a couple more loan signings to boost the squad a bit, and take it from there. So we've got some friendlies. First game is away to Aldershot, our first league game. What I'll do is I'll arrange a few more friendlies, get some transfers in, and then come back to you for the game against Aldershot. So I'll speak to you then. Okay then, so we're back for our first game of the season against Aldershot Town away. So pre-season, it looked like it went pretty well there. Although bearing in mind most of these teams are in divisions below us, 1, 2, even 3 divisions below us. But, we played okay. I was getting a bit concerned for the first 4 games because we weren't quite dominating possession and getting as many chances as what I hoped we would. But then we played against League 2 side Bury, and Scott Quigley got a hat-trick on this one. And we did do well with possession. I think we had about 59%. And the same again for the game against Port Vale. I'm not going to go into too much detail with these pre-season games. So it was good to see an improvement there, and the tactics that I've put in starting to take effect. When we go to the dynamics, the team cohesion is still poor. So the players have still not yet developed a good level of understanding of the formations. Basically, I'll go into the tactics and the formations in a sec. I think after a few games, hopefully that should come into place. I haven't made too many sign-ins, so that shouldn't disrupt it too much. But I really would have thought our team cohesion would have been better by now. So then, on to the sign-ins. Transfer history. Okay, so most of these players we did not bring in. So Michelle Parker, Mitchell Parker, sorry, it's Mitchell, isn't it? I think so anyway. So he's a youngster who's come in, 2.5-star current ability, up to 4.5-star potential. He's only 20 years old, plenty of room for improvement, but he's got good technical stats here, heading, marking and tackling. He can pass the ball. He's got good first touch as well, so he's not too bad as a ball playing defender, which is key for us, playing out from the back. Determination isn't great, and mental stats all round, but his composure's pretty good, and anticipation, positioning could be better for a central defender, but it's still not too bad. And then physicals are really good. So I'm quite happy with that. He's not going to be first choice centre back, but he will be backing up the first two. So he'll be pushing for to break through into the first 11, which I'm sure will only be a matter of time. Yeah, so we've brought in a backup goalkeeper, only 18 years old, but he's as good as our current goalkeeper. 3.5-star current ability, up to 5-star potential. He's primarily a sweeper keeper, which is ideal for the style of football we're playing. His passing is good, his first touch is good, and all round his goalkeeping technical ability is very good. Good mental stats as well. So he'll be pushing the number 1 jersey, and I think maybe it might only be a matter of time before he gets through. Be interesting to see how that develops. Here we go. Yeah, so we've got another player who it was a struggle to find a central midfielder in an attacking role. I'm playing 3 central midfielders, but they're primarily either good in the supporting roles or the defensive roles, and I needed somebody who was better as an attacking midfielder, and this guy fits the bill. Elliot Bonds. He should be coming in after this game. Now, his technical stats don't look too great, but he can play in the central midfield role in the attack as an attacking central midfielder, which is what I want. His passing is good. He's got good crossing, which he's not really going to use there. First touch isn't too bad, but this guy's got great determination, brilliant natural fitness, and decent pace, acceleration and stamina. Good all-round mental stats there. So technically, he might not be the best, but I think this guy will be a bonus for the team, and he will. We're quite short on central midfielders, so we needed another person in to keep the competition going and to bolster the squad a bit, because we're still a bit threadbare. And that's it for the sign-ins. So there's no plans on bringing in anyone else. Once this guy's signed on, our wage budget will be pretty much breaking even with our wage budget. So there won't be much else to bring in. We won't be able to bring in any loan sign-ins, because we'll have 5 maximum. So anything else, it's going to be free sign-ins, or very unlikely maybe someone in on our very small transfer budget. So on to the tactics. So this is how we're looking. I've come up with this custom tactic, which I have used before with quite a bit of success. So we are going attacking as per Barrow do in real life, playing out from defence. So we're passing the ball around a lot, so I want them to dribble less. Again, playing out from the back, I want the goalkeeper to roll it out, distribute to either the centre-backs or the full-backs. We're going to counter press, and press the opposition, and hopefully make them make mistakes, as do Barrow in real life. I'm quite pleased for it. The familiarity it's not too bad. We're not that far off. So I think it'll only be a matter of time before everyone's used to it. So this is the team that I've got starting. So we've got Joel Dixon in goal, Bradley Barry as right back, Platt, Hurd as centre backs, and Bro as the attacking left back. In the middle, we got John Rooney in the deep line playmaker role. Next to him, playing as the defensive central midfielder, will be Jason Taylor, and then Lewis Hardcastle in the attacking Mazzala role to complete the central midfield 3. Out on the wings, we've got Kay on the left as the inside forward, Out on the right it will be Greaves, and then Quigley up front as the pressing, attacking striker. So let's get on to the game then. Right, for the first team talk, don't want to put the players under too much pressure. So just something nice and relaxing. Enjoy the game. Not too much of a response there. That's fine. And then on to kick off. So it'll be interesting to see if we can, play our way out of this division. I mean, obviously Barrow have done that in real life and have done it well. They've really proved a lot of people wrong by doing it the way they've done it. Doing it on Football Manager though, that's a different thing altogether, and that's not a good start at all. Alex Finney has just scored for Aldershot from free kick there. Poor defending on our part. He just lost Finney there. And he slots it in. That's a really disappointing start. And yeah, he was just onside. Right. So come on then, Barrow. Let's get back into it. Dominating possession so far, as I would expect. But let's turn that into some goals. So 25 minutes in and we haven't had a highlight yet. Okay, so Taylor loses it after picking it up from their throw. Quigley picks it up in the centre there, plays it out to Greaves. Greaves to Hardcastle, can he cross it in? And no, the ball's taken away, but it's a trip. It's a penalty. And who's taking it? John Rooney's going to take it, and he scores! Barrow have equalised thanks to a John Rooney penalty. I must admit, it looked like a soft penalty there, but that's fine, we'll take that. And yes, he sends the keeper the wrong way. Great penalty there by John Rooney. So we're back in the game. And yeah, that's it. So one each. Bit concerned we're not creating some better chances there. Just the one highlight for us, which was obviously the penalty. But, 1-1 away from home at half time. We'll take that for now. Let's see how we get on for the second half. Again, yeah, I think we're unlucky. We've had more shots than them, and we've dominated the possession. So let's see how we go. Not too much of a reaction, but hey ho. Right, we're getting up to 60 minutes. Our ratings aren't great. Jason Taylor's not playing well. Bro isn't playing very well either. We're not really doing anything. I mean, we're holding on to the ball well. But I don't really want to make us too attacking yet. Let's see. What options have we got on the bench here? Ollie Dyson can play on the left or the right side. Angus is a striker, but he can also play on the right, I believe. No, let's leave it for another 10 minutes and see how we get on. So Bro hits it up to Quigley, knocks it out to Kay on the left there. Passes to Rooney, Rooney to Taylor, Taylor back to Platt. Platt plays out to Hardcastle, Greaves has come in on the right hand side, crosses it in, and Quigley should have done better there with the header. But that was great play there. This is the sort of thing that I want to see. So Rooney with the free kick goes in, and Greaves has scored. No, it's Platt. Oh, taxi for Arnold. Yeah, Platt scored. Well worked free kick there. Rooney slots it in, and Platt comes in with the header. That's fair. I thought it was Greaves because Greaves' name was showing and not Platt's. But yeah, we've taken it 2-1. I've forgotten about the substitutions. Have we got anyone looking tired? Right, so we're away from home. Let's just be a bit more cautious. 'Cause, 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 'cause No, let's just leave it. Okay, so they got the free kick, and it's played through to Finney again, but it was a tame effort, easily saved by Dixon. Bro with the throw. Rooney to Quigley, crosses it, but it doesn't get to anyone. Hardcastle knocks it back to Taylor. Taylor back to Rooney, to Bro. They're knocking it about nicely here. Rooney plays it out wide to Bro. Bro crosses it in, and Greaves, and he heads it over the bar. And it looks like we've won. First game of the season. Hopefully this is the full-time highlight. They've crossed it in there, and it's cleared out there by the centre-back. Still trying to remember his name. And now it's been knocked out for a corner. Come on, let's hope they don't. And great catch there by the keeper, Dixon. And he throws it out, and there goes the final whistle. And we've won 2-1 against Aldershot away from home. This is a great result, great performance, I think. You know, we stepped it up, obviously stepped it up a bit better in the second half. 14 shots, 5 on target, 56% possession. If we have a look at the ratings. So yeah, Matthew Platt scoring the winner. Rooney gets man of the match with the penalty and the assist with his free kick. So yeah, brilliant start. Couldn't have asked for anything better, and long may it continue. Okay then, so just the one live com today. I will be doing normally 2 live comms per episode. So let's have a look at when we will come back for the second episode. We'll play Boreham, Fylde, Woking. Yeah, if we come back for the Maidenhead United and Eastleigh games, that'll be great. So then, what do you think of the save so far? Please let me know in the comments. Is there anything you think I should have done differently? Also, let me know what you think about the format of the video. I'd really appreciate some feedback. It's probably not as polished as I'd liked it to be, but I do feel that this is something, the more I do it, the better I will get, and the more fluid these videos will become. So if you did enjoy this episode, if you could press the like button, that would be awesome. Also press subscribe if you want to see more. I'll be doing 3 of these episodes per week. And thank you very much for watching. Take care.